So you're gonna want to make sure you know this is here and look for it, because it's hard to see. And if you come up on it and you're not paying attention, it's gonna be too late and you're going in.
We got water right behind us. What is going on YouTube?
I got.
We're back with a full ice report. It's gonna be one that you're gonna want to stay tuned and watch.
Yeah, interesting season. I mean, we do finally have our cold temps, and we do have really decent ice, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on. A lot of spots that aren't freezing over, or they finally did freeze over, and then now we're getting a lot of heaves, and then there's open water, and just a lot of stuff as everybody's barreling out in their half-ton vehicles and driving around, which is fine. That's your choice. I wouldn't do it, but that's just me, because this ice is, I mean, it's good solid ice. I'm not going to argue that, but there's just a lot of weird things that you just can't see going on. So definitely want to stay tuned to what we found, as we're kind of standing on Bud right now. We're just out in the middle of nowhere here. We're just right in the middle of Bud, and there's just a random heave out here.
Yep. I'll turn the camera so you guys can see it. I don't think you'll have the justice of how high it's actually heaved. I don't know if I can get low enough here. Yeah, it doesn't really help too much.
I don't even know if I should be doing this, because I can feel it moving. I can literally feel it moving as I'm doing this on top of it. So that would be not a good thing to drive across.
Yeah.
With anything, for that matter. Car, side by side, four-wheeler, anything like that,
Right.
because you can see the snow that was sitting in there. That is heaved up, and underneath of there isn't much in between. I bet there's probably only 8 or 6 inches of ice underneath of that heave that, you know, eventually it's going to fall. And as I said, as I was standing on there, I could feel it moving, just moving, just barely jumping up and down on it. So want to avoid that at all costs. You don't want to find that at night. Clearly if you're on here during the day, you'll see it, but at night when you're leaving, you might forget.
Right.
And something to watch out for. Other than that, on Bud, everything's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's looking pretty nice.
The north end has less than the rest of it. Obviously it has all season. That froze later on, had a lot of weird ice over there, same thing, goose holes, that kind of thing. So I'm not 100% sure on that measurement, but I know it'll be less, and maybe it could be more. I'm not sure on that, but I'm gonna say less, because just want to be aware of that when you're driving out. If you do, remember, no ice is safe ice. We're not telling you to drive your vehicle out, but if you do drive out, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have somebody check in front of you. Make sure you find a good path, and as you're driving out, if you got a bunch of your friends and a bunch of vehicles, don't get in a big line and a big convoy, because that's the worst thing you can do. The ice does break out underneath. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Yes, 14 to 16 inches of ice is rated to hold a half-ton vehicle. We understand that. But the problem is, it's the things that you don't see that happen underneath of the ice, where when people drive really fast, or when you get a bunch of people driving, even when the ice is 2 foot thick, it breaks out underneath sometimes, and then the unlucky person that comes next will be the one that falls through, because it'll go from 14 inches down to 6. So something to keep in mind when you're driving and driving in the same spot. If somebody goes really, really fast and they create that wake under the water, that'll chip out underneath, and you won't see it. You won't see it at all. There'll be no signs. And then you'll drop a tire in, or possibly the whole front of your vehicle, or worse yet, all of it. So keep that in mind when you're coming out here, because that's very, very important. One thing that people don't realize with ice, as it does break underneath when you're driving.
The other thing, since we don't have any snow cover, be careful of the white ice areas. We say that all the time, and different times of year, white ice is better than the dark ice. Right now, the white ice is not. That's normally where the heaves are, as you can see here.
What we're standing on.
Everything around this heave is white ice. And then you have nice dark ice. And then you have the heave going back up that way. It's not heaved up the rest of this spot, except right here. But you can see the trail goes all the way across the lake, north to south. So just with that being said, watch out for the white ice areas, especially since we can see, because we don't have any snow cover right now. The other thing, I don't know how true it is. I've heard from some people, and I've thought it myself, especially seeing the water temp last weekend when it was negative good Lord negative, it was cold, but the water temp was 39.7 degrees just under the ice. So not having the snow cover, that sun uses the ice as a magnifying glass and it'll keep water warm. So it depends on what angle the sun has the most power, and you could have thin spots throughout the whole lake. It just depends. That's why it's spotty, and we tell everyone to check. If something looks weird, check. Don't drive over it. Don't do any of that stuff. Just be cautious. And we've been swamped with clients, which is awesome. We appreciate all of it. We're gonna try and do our best to keep everyone updated on ice reports. I know we neglected it for a week and a half or so.
Yeah,
we apologize. It's been very busy. We're trying to keep everyone appeased. But I think we're gonna, oh yeah.
Check this out.
We got a new toy.
We got a new product we're trying out here. We decided to pull the trigger on one of these new Eskimo E40s. Hasn't drilled a hole yet, so we're gonna do it right now. I don't really know
Hopefully I got enough in the battery.
We'll see.
It just showed up this morning. So we'll see.
That was good. That's not ice. All right.
Oh.
That thing is quiet, light. I don't think this weighs much more than what our drill with the clam plate does.
Yeah, it doesn't weigh much.
Good lithium battery, but this thing is light. It's got that new blade on the bottom.
It's the 2.0, so you got
yes.
the different blade system on the bottom there. It is a lot easier on drill heads. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's just a DeWalt, Milwaukee, whatever drill, or like this on the E40 drill. It's designed to be a lot easier on your equipment, which is a plus, because the weather in the winter is hard enough on stuff.
Look at this. I mean, this thing is, there's nothing to it. Like it's just light.
And he is a weakling, so
I mean, that strong. Clean the hole out a little bit. Put it in reverse. You got forward and reverse. It's nice.
Oh yeah.
It's not that loud. It's pretty
quiet.
quiet.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's very quiet.
And no, we are not promoted by Eskimo products, but
nope.
We see new products. We like to try them out. We like to try everything that everyone has, because you never know what you're going to find. One might be better than the other. Who knows? But that right now is kind of the latest and the greatest when it comes to the electric drills coming out. And so far we like it. We're going to test the heck out of it now the rest of the ice season. We'll see how durable it is, those things. But as far as that goes, those new blades, I mean, that cuts like butter. That was way faster. We have an 8-inch on our clam plate with the drill.
Yep.
That takes a lot more battery power. I mean, you can only drill probably on this much ice that we have. If we got 6 to 8 holes out of it on a cold day, we were lucky. So, that's kind of how much more stress that is. And this cuts a lot better and a lot faster. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. That's the thing. We're not bought out by any companies. We don't have any sponsorships. Being guides, different companies give you discounts. But it's one of the things. I've researched these power heads and tried to figure out what the best one for us would be. So that's why we finally pulled the trigger and got the E40. I'm hoping it's going to live up to everything I've researched on it. As of now, it still has. Whew. But are you losing the...
No, but I almost had to put my hands in the water, so that's good, because this baby only goes to 17 inches, but we got about, probably, I'd say 15.5 to be sure, but 16 to the top of the ice, 15.5 to the water.
Yeah.
So, as I say, with ice, you round down, and with fish, you round up. So, use that as a little tactic in life, but that's how we work, you know what I mean? 15 3/4 inch walleye, that was, 16 1/4, it's fine. But with ice, you want to round down, because we want to make sure that we don't give anybody the wrong idea. So yes, you can say, well, I measured 16. Well, good for you, but 15.5 to the water, 16 to the top. So we're going to call it 15.5. So we've gained some, not a whole lot though, not as much as I was expecting, but that's okay.
That's where the sun, I believe, is coming into play and keeping that water warm.
We've had the Garmin down, and even on that cold weekend,
that's what I was telling them.
Yeah, it was 39 degrees, so
yeah,
crazy. But,
yep.
So 15.5 is what we got. We're out in the middle of Bud, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
So that's what we have.
It's a little windy and cold. I'm gonna try and get the drone up for you guys, but bear with me because this wind has not been fun any chance we get. It seems like it's too windy to get the drone up, but
next
I'm gonna
week,
try it. I'm gonna try it for you guys. Hopefully I don't have to buy another one.
Next week's temperatures look really good to be outside and hole hopping, so I'm kind of excited for that. Sitting on a bucket, running, gunning like we love to do, and then you don't freeze your butt off and you can catch a lot more fish. So,
Yep.
if you were paying attention to our Facebook page, I did post something on there, and we had 2 big coolers full of fish. That was on a nicer day. I believe that was a Thursday of last week when it was 40 degrees, so we had a real nice day. Enabled us to drill a lot of holes and stay on top of the school and find the more active fish. And well, there was 800 of them that went home with those guys that day, so they did really, really well. That was 9 guys, and they got 800 fish, so pretty cool.
Absolutely.
But now, one thing I don't think he brought up is, I know there's been a lot of kind of questions about this limit coming into effect on the yellow bass, and we're not sure how official it is. We're about 95% sure that on March 1st there will be a 30 fish limit on these yellow bass. Yes, I know we're not happy, nobody is, but don't be hard on your local conservation officer or the DNR because it was not their decision, not the city of Fairmont's decision. Unfortunately, this decision is left up to somebody who doesn't fish and they have no idea what the heck they're talking about. I hope they watch this video because this is truly how I feel. But remember, it's not your local DNR. Don't be hard on your COs. Don't be mad at the city of Fairmont. It's not their choice. It's never been. But the good news is the head of fisheries has already got a petition going. So when that limit goes into effect for the 30 fish, it'll only be for 1 year that we'll have to do that. And then the following year, it'll go up to 100 fish, which 100 fish limit is, that's plenty. That'll be plenty. That'll be able to just come here and smash them still and do what we're doing. So don't freak out about that. The 30 fish limit, yes, it's gonna stink, but now we can be selective. We can take bigger ones. Granted, if you bring a bunch of your buddies out, great idea. Okay, this guy's gonna cross this heave with the 3/4 ton pickup as I'm talking. Anyways, so just don't freak out about those things. That limit is, I did it. That limit is gonna happen. There's nothing we can do about it, but I just don't want you to take it out on your local conservation officers or the DNR in general, because unfortunately the decision is made by somebody who doesn't fish and has no idea what they're talking about. So, tell them how you really feel, Lucas, and I just did.
And don't let that limit deter you from coming to pile fish up. Get your buddies together, come and fish, because that's the only thing that's going to help the fishery and keep these yellow bass in check for this full year of 30 fish limit. But we'll see what happens.
If you're coming from a couple hours away, call your buddies, say, hey, I need every one of you, split the gas, pile in a Suburban or whatever. Get down here, don't let it deter you. We're still gonna catch fish. We're still gonna catch a lot of them. And group fishing is allowed, so you can all catch, you don't have to stop keeping them, as long as you guys don't have your 120 or 150 that you're allotted to with whatever group you have. You can all sit in one area and pile them up still, take good sized ones home, put the small ones back, and then the next year we can go back to piling them up just as much. So don't freak out about it. It'll be fine, we'll get through it. It's only gonna be a year, and then we'll keep doing what we're doing. So it's all good.
Well, enough jabbering here out in the middle. We'll go check some more spots. If we see some stuff, we'll come back to you. I know we're gonna go out and look on Hall, which if you're still hanging out with us, make sure you keep watching that one, because you're gonna want to see what's going on with Hall.
Hall's got some weird stuff going on, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably go to Cistin because that's got some weird stuff as well. And then Ambers look pretty good all year, honestly. So Ambers look good. And then George is kind of a silent lake. Nobody's been there much, but that ice has been pretty good over there as well. So mainly the big three, Bud, Hall, and Cistin, all are the ones that have different areas that we got to look out for.
Yep. All right, well, we're gonna get to it and keep driving around, see what we find. Well, we are out in the middle of Hall-ish, the middle-ish. Just drilled a hole out here so that we can
might not have enough
and see what it is.
Might not have enough on this one.
Well, that's why I brought my tape measure.
Oh, just enough.
Just enough.
Close to, like I said, about 15 and a half. Oh, or is that 15? About 15 there. 15 right to the top of the ice here.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, which it's not really a lot for this time of year and the temperatures we've had. It's good solid ice, but I need a lot more than 15 to be driving my vehicle out, but that's just me. And since we were over here, we got other issue out here in the middle that everybody's going to want to remember this is here, because if you come barreling out in your machine or whatever you're driving and you're not paying attention and you see this too late, you won't get stopped in time either, because the ice is so slick.
There's no traction out here for stopping.
No, you're going to slide right into this. So this heave that we've had, or where the open water was behind the Hall Lake cabins, that has closed up, but it also heaved all the way across while it was doing that. So right out here in the middle, we have open water, and it's not a small open water spot. It is very large. So you're going to want to make sure you know this is here and look for it, because it's hard to see. And if you come up on it and you're not paying attention, it's going to be too late and you're going in. So
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Basically, this heaved up really high and it fell down in. So it's not all open, but there is ice sheets underneath. But clearly, if you hit it, you're going to still go in, because it's just floating.
You'll see in the drone footage, you can see the ice under the water.
Yep. And it's cracking under us.
Yeah,
but we're
it's cracking
standing,
under us.
Probably standing on. Look at there. Yeah.
We got water right behind us.
So guys, you are going to have to keep an eye out for this. I don't know if it's going to get bigger. We don't really know what it's going to do. It's kind of weird it's here, but it's part of it. It's just been a different kind of ice season. We finally got a good ice season, but the ice has been weird in what it's been doing with no snow. And I think we're the only areas that have no snow right now. You know, northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, about if you go north, south, east, and west, even in Florida they have snow. So it's weird, but it is what it is. I mean, it's good for not having to worry about getting stuck on the ice, things of that nature, but then there's other dangers we have to look out for.
Right.
And this is one of them.
Right.
And you said walking by, you can stand right next to it. I thought I should have brought the open water pole.
Over here so they can see you.
Could have brought the open water pole.
There you go.
Sun's in my eyes now.
Well, I probably couldn't see you in a shadow before.
Could have brought the open water pole, threw a bobber out there in the middle, see if anything's biting.
Yeah. Yep.
So
it's pretty crazy what weather and ice does.
Yes, it does. But this is what we have. Nobody's marked this at all. I mean, you can see down the heave, you can see there's open water in between the heave, even in other spots. Yep. But it's not marked. So if you get into this at night, or if you're coming out in the morning, whatever you're doing, and you don't see it, it's going to be too late and you're going to slide right in. So just remember that it's here. Remember to drive slow on the ice. I know there's no speed limit, and I know I sound like a dad right now. I'm sorry, but guys, you don't need to go more than 5-10 mile an hour when you're driving across the ice. Like I've seen people in the last couple weekends, I've seen people doing 30 plus, and that's just, that's dangerous. Not only for the fact of falling in, but also, you know, if something, you don't see somebody or something like that, you can't stop on this stuff. You're gonna slide and slide and slide. So speed is something that you need to remember is slow down. Take it easy. Your fishing spot will be there when you get there. Your fish will probably be there. So just take it easy. You know, no need to be driving 40 plus mile an hour across ice.
Right. Jeez, look at that ice.
Yeah, it's floating across there, pushing it across.
There's some chunks that are floating up to the top. They've broke off.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if you guys can see right over in there.
Yeah,
ice just started floating back up.
Look at that. Look at the water. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's coming at us right now, pushing it towards us.
Right. And that's going to be the next thing to watch out for, because this ice, I mean, it's thick enough. Once it finally does deteriorate along the cracks that it is cracked, it'll come back up like that, so then you're not going to be able to see the open water. It's just going to be, you'll hit an ice chunk and fall.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how it's going to be.
Yeah, look at the water moving.
Yeah.
Right here.
It's going to be interesting.
That's crazy.
Look at that coming at us. They're
wow.
Pushing. That's neat. But it's going to be interesting what this does through the rest of the year, and it's going to be a spot that you need to keep marked in your mind. Watch the drone footage from up above so you kind of get an area where it is. But it's right out in the middle, so if you're driving out and trying to go all the way to the south end of Hall, you're going to come across it if you don't get over far. So you're going to, it's here, and it goes almost all the way.
I was going to say, you can see how far off of that point we are, and you'll be able to see in the drone footage too. I mean, there's hard shacks over there and coming all the way up there. I mean, if I'm looking straight north, we're about to the channel between Hall and Bud.
Yeah.
So
it's very important, guys, for this weekend, what everybody's planning on doing. I know it's going to be pretty nice. So that's great. Gonna be nice weather. And that's another thing you gotta factor in is it's gonna warm up. Well, we have no snow on the ice, so it's kind of the mirror effect. You know, it's just like in your car. When the sun hits your window, it heats everything else up inside. The ice is doing the same stuff. When that sun is hitting this ice, it is actually keeping that water warm like we talked about, and it's can cause some other dangers. So we need to be precautioned. You can't treat this like good, safe ice like you do in the middle of winter when we normally have a couple, either a foot of snow or 5-6 inches of snow on top, and it's a little different. But right now, it's not the same.
Yep.
The only good part is we don't have to worry about lack of oxygen for the fish, so the fish are still active. So that's good. So there is a plus, but there's just a lot more dangers to look out for, and we can't preach it enough, you know.
Yeah.
And another thing is too, you know, if you are going to pull down in with your vehicles, I know if the parking lots are full or whatever, and you're walking out or fishing, the worst thing that you guys can do is park 4 or 5 vehicles in one spot, just like a parking lot, because that puts a lot of pressure on that ice, and we know what it can do. And I know I sound silly by telling people this, and you know, yeah, we're gonna do what we want, but it just amazes us, as much as we're on the ice, the amount of people that they won't drive their vehicle on the ice all the way, but they'll drive and park off the boat ramp. Well, that's the worst spot you can be, because usually that ice is the worst ice right on the edges.
Yeah, it gets the most traffic, the most stress cracks, the most likely to open up when it's hot out.
And then when you get 5 to 6 to 7 vehicles parked in the same spot, that's a ton of weight in one area. Yeah. And then it will give, and then you're going to come back to your car. You know, it's not going to be gone, but it's going to be in the water, so you're going to have to be careful. So just another thing to keep in mind, you know, I know we sound like the ice safety police, and I'm sorry, but we're just trying to keep you guys safe. We really want to make sure that everybody gets out, has a good time, because, you know, no ice is safe ice, and you just have to always have that on your mind, 100%.
Yes, definitely. Well, I suppose
we jabbed enough
venture
here.
Over to Cistin for a little bit, see what that looks like.
We'll check out Cistin and see what that goose hole looks like, if it closed up or if we have a similar situation as what we have out here. But once again, middle of the haul, all the way from almost point to point, it is open. So please, please, please be cautious when you're coming out here, because if you come up fast and don't see it, you're going in. Plain and simple. You're not going to have enough time to react. It won't be a good situation. And so we just want everybody to know that this spot out here is wide open. Do not come through here with a vehicle or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just hear and feel the ice standing next to this open spot. It's moving and cracking, and oh man.
It very well could change. It's Thursday right now. We got Friday yet. It could change from today, tomorrow, and it's going to warm up. It could get bigger. So it's just something that we need to keep an eye on and make sure that it is aware, and make sure you tell your buddies, or you see anybody coming out, just like, hey, it's out there. It's not marked.
Yeah.
It's not marked. Nobody has it marked. There's no signs of safe in ice up there to let anybody know. So it's one of those deals where you got to be cautious, got to pay attention, look ahead of you, drive slow. If you're driving out, if you're with your Lamborghinis, you'll be okay, because you'll be able to walk right up to it, as we're standing on the edge of it. So, but if you're in a vehicle or side-by-side, four-wheeler, whatever you're doing,
it's hard to see until
you're not going to see it, and once you're close, you're not going to get stopped in time. And this crack isn't just here. I mean, it goes all the way to behind the Hall Lake cabins. So any of those spots, if you try to cross it or don't see it, it's going to be too late.
Yeah. Make sure to share this video so everybody can see it.
Yes.
Coming out fishing on the weekend.
Let everybody see this, share it, comment it, tell your friends. You know, it doesn't mean you can't go fishing. No, we don't want that. But we just want everybody to be aware that this is here and it's not marked. There's nothing marking it. Nobody's put anything up. You know, that's not the city's responsibility, so it's not on them either. You know, it's here. We've seen it. We know it's here. I know Justin at the bait shop has put it on his page about this. Now you can see exactly what it is, and now you know exactly where it is. So just be cautious.
All right. Well,
Cistin, here we come.
On to the next one. Well, we're on Cistin.
Not very far though.
Yeah. Well, straight off the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, it heaved all the way across. All the way across.
We're next to open water again.
And we're what? 40 feet from shore? 50?
Yeah, it comes all the way over. Shore's right here.
Yeah, right there. And it almost made it to shore.
Yep.
And it goes all the way across.
It goes all the way down to the point, at least.
Yeah, at least to the point. You can see heaved up there. But this was, last time I was over here, it was just a little itty-bitty circle that was open when I was walking back, because I walked out with my Lamborghinis. And as I was walking back, there was just a little circle that was out over here, kind of where all the dead geese are. But it was right over there. And yeah, it got a lot bigger all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Now, it's not because anything opened up, it's just because it got so much pressure on it and heaved, and then everything dropped down. But, you know, there's ice underneath of all the where the water's sitting.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that through the water or not.
I'm not gonna do it, but I think you could probably stand on it. But, you know, it's interesting. This is new. Haven't seen this in a long time on these chains of water like this, but Aaron will get the drone up and kind of show you what's going on. But
possibly if I got enough battery.
If we got enough battery, but it goes all the way from point to point across. Well, not across there. It doesn't even look like normally. Normally the point across the Cistin there is where the open water is, but that looks good from here.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
This goes more north.
Goes more north, yep, and then it goes all the way up and towards the north end there to the point, whatever little park. What park is that over there? I can't remember.
I'm not sure what that one is.
Anyway, it's right over that way. But yeah, it's not good. It's definitely not good. You're not driving anything across it. You're not bridging. You might be able to bridge across it, but that's up to you. Lamborghinis will be in use here on Cistin.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, just be careful. But in this stuff you can see, so you know it's here. But I would not drive a vehicle out here at all. That would be a no-go. You're not going to get far.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ice thickness is, but there's really no point to give you that. You know, it's not.
You're not getting out into the lake part.
No, it's
by driving.
It's a no-go driving. I mean, your Lamborghinis work just fine. You might be able to get around it with a wheeler, snowmobile, stuff like that, but just be careful. You know, there might be a way around to get out to different spots, but even then, I don't know. And then you take a risk of not being able to come back if something changes while you're out. So, not saying you can't fish here, but you're going to want to have to walk to whatever spots you like. The north end, you'll probably be able to get on the north end there at the park over there, which is fine. But you can't drive any machines on there. There's no boat ramp. You just have to walk. But Lamborghinis, as I say, work great. It's okay. You can still use them. It's going to be nice this weekend, so minimal gear. I know you can probably get on at the Marina Lodge there too. I think they let people access from that side. So there's a spot to walk on over there as well. So just make sure you go in there and have a drink or get some food just to appreciate them letting you use that.
Right.
But I know that's possible. But yeah, out here off of Ward Park, it's definitely, you can drive out so far and then you're done. So
yeah. It comes to a screeching halt.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's interesting. Ice is doing some weird stuff this year, but hey, at least we got ice. At least we're fishing. You know, I think last year we had just got rolling for ice season, so
yeah,
at least we've had a good month of ice season, a little over a month, I think already. It's flying by. We're knocking on February's door already, which is crazy, but it's been great. We've been busy, as we said, so it's been awesome.
Definitely.
Don't forget about our online store too. You know, that's a good place to go and get some awesome Legends gear. Get yourself a stocking cap or a ball cap. Get yourself some sweatshirts, t-shirts, all that good stuff. Right there on that website. Link will be in the description, I'm sure. So that'll be good. Don't forget about that. Get some gear. It's pretty cool stuff. We got some neat sayings on the back of them. All that stuff. Check them out. Check them out.
Heck yeah. Well, I suppose that'll probably conclude our ice report for this time.
I think so, guys.
As always, we thank each and every one of you guys for watching our videos and supporting us. Keep engaging, commenting, sharing to all your friends. We like the engagement.
We really appreciate all you, like you said. Thanks a lot. Comment like you said. Give us some input on what you're seeing. Well, if you guys see anything we don't see, let us know. But be safe, guys. Definitely be safe. You know, I know everybody's thinking driving out is the way to go, but just be careful. Be careful. No ice is safe ice, my friends.
Yep. Well, until the next one. Tight lines.